So, friends, is anybody there out there? Let me know. Guys, I want to. Okay, guys, today is anybody out there? So, guys, let me just proceed with today's program. Uh, I was watching this thing called An Experience. If you have not watched An Experience, I strongly recommend that you go and watch it. So, how to watch An Experience? It's available in something called Anba TV. You have to just download this app called Anba TV, and if you then you have to go into that, log into that app. Then you have an option of watching the show, which is All Experience, which will go for at least 3 hours. Something like the second show after, if you have watched Alex's previous show, which is Alex in Wonderland. This is the second one, and this is. But you have to pay 1,000 rupees to watch the particular thing, but you can watch any number of. Once you have paid that, you can watch any number of times and all that. You can even watch it on a television and all that. So it was a bit hard for me to pay that money, but then I said, because I'm a big fan of Alex, so I thought I just watch it. And it was worth. It was worth. Because what happened in the first Alex in Wonderland, if you look at Alex in Wonderland, it was all about, like, he gave some 50 songs, the origin of Tamil songs from Sirgai to A.R. Rahman. He kind of summarized the whole show in Alex in Wonderland. But in an Alex Experience, it's very different in that he just focused on one song. Teradi Vidiyil Vandadu Maanam. But that one song is there. In the movie called Yanakul Oruvan, the original Yanakul Oruvan in 1984 Kamala Hassan movie. And with that one song, he is able to run the whole show for 3 hours. He goes on explaining a lot of things, and his usual style, that people jumping from one thing to another, and this to that to that to that, and it takes where it leads. So I thought it was an interesting style of looking at things. So I thought I can also maybe try something like that. Maybe just one song, one movie, and then talk about it, and then look at how it goes from there. It could be comedy, or it could be tragedy, or it could just be fun of life. That's what mostly Alex, although he says it's comedy, it's more of philosophy and it's much more serious stuff. Looking into, especially this Alex Experience is much more serious than the Wonderland thing and other things. So I thought I would try something on similar lines. Okay. So I'll talk about just one song, which has really impacted a lot of people in the world. So I'm just going to sing this one song and maybe try to a little bit explain what it is all about. So this song is, people who know me maybe would have guessed what is the first song I'm trying to explore. It's my favorite one. So people who know me a lot, they might already would have guessed what I would possibly try to sing and explain. Any guesses, guys? Anybody there? Okay. So it's mayakama, kalakama. Mayakama, kalakama. மனதிலே குழப்பமா வாழ்க்கையில் நடுக்கமா மயக்கமா கலக்கமா மனதிலே குழப்பமா வாழ்க்கையில் நடுக்கமா. So the first two lines, it says mayakama, like, are you confused? Or are you anxious? Kalakama, are you kind of depressed? Manadile kurapama, that is more of a confusion. Mayakam is more of a anxiety. When you say mayakam, it's also some kind of a confusion. That means slightly you are confused. Kalakam is more like a mixture of anxiety and depression. And manadile kurapama is severe depression, a severe confusion. You're really confused about life. வாழ்க்கையில் Nadukama is a typical anxiety. That's what typically all of us are facing in today's life. If you look at every person, especially mayakam is the first thing it happens. Mayakam is like you're having, because say you're drunk, you become mayakam. Or say you are fall in love with somebody, then there is a mayakam. So mayakam is the first part. In life, you get mayangified for a lot of things. You look at a girl, then there is a mayakam. Then you go and get married to that person, then there is a lot of kalakam. After that. Similarly, you think it's the best job, and you go and join a particular job, and there is a lot of mayakam. And once you join the job, then you know the reality of the job and all that. Then there is a lot of kalakam. There is a lot of depression, anxiety, stress, and all that. Right? So this is what is happening in all our lives. This mayakam and kalakam and வாழ்க்கையில் நடுக்கம். And let me explain, like Alex did in that particular show, Alex experience. He tried to, that தேரடி வீதியில் வந்தவன் யாரடி தோழி. So that's the song he was explaining. எனக்குள் ஒருவன் தேரடி வீதியில் வந்தவன் யாரடி தோழி. And what's the story behind it. And you look at this particular story, Sumaithaangi, it's a very beautiful story. If you look at it, there's a lot of tragedy in there. It starts very beautifully. There is a small family. Gemini Ganesan is as a hero, and he has an elder brother who is Muthurama. And what happens is, these guys, in the college, they give a bet. There's a beautiful girl called Ratnamala. That's a heroine. I don't know who's the actress. Of course, she's a beautiful girl. And she's a teacher's daughter. And there is a bet for now Gemini Ganesan. All these friends keep a bet now. She's so beautiful. If you have to, can you make her fall in love with you? And he says it's very easy for him. He thinks he's a top guy. He's so handsome and cool and all that. And you know who is? He's Kadal Mannan. Actually, people call him. So obviously, he's very confident that he can do it. So he goes and joins in a tuition with that sir, and then he tries to woo her. He does a lot of tricks, and finally he falls in love with her. He gets her love also, and at that point, lot of problems in his house. His elder brother Muthuraman was taking care of the family. He loses his job, so now Gemini Ganesan quits his studies, education, and he starts to work for the family, and they are going into some kind of a poverty, troubled times, and all that. Then there is a rich guy who wants to offer his daughter in marriage to Gemini Ganesan. So there's a solution for all the problems. Once the rich guy comes and he offers a lot of money and jobs and all that, and he says, I'll take care of all of you and all that. And So Gemini Ganesan kind of ditches this girl and then agrees to marry that particular rich guy's daughter. கல்யாணம் பண்ண விட்டுட்டு கல்யாணம் நடக்கும்பொழுது again a lot of things happen and that person develops fits and then the father thinks it's a very bad omen and they should stop the marriage and the rich guy withdraws from the marriage offer. And again this family is very confused. Now Gemini Ganesh goes back to this girl and she also rejects him. And it's a very, very pathetic situation for him. His entire family is also trying to make him work very hard and it's after his money and they're not. So he becomes a sumaithaangi of the family. He takes the entire burden of the family and he's really struggling for the family, and it goes on like that. And finally, he has a friend and that friend offers him a job and that friend even that job he gives it to his elder brother. Says no, I'll take the job. So even that job then he offers to his elder brother. Finally this girl who he was in love with, that Ratnamala, her father, what he says, like, okay, there's another rich guy there. He tries to marry her to that particular rich guy and it goes on like that. It's a lot of confusion. So Gemini Ganeshan, for him it is. So finally Gemini Ganeshan comes back to this teacher and requests him to give his daughter marriage and his father says, you already cheated my daughter a lot of times and we don't want to trust you again and you just get out. That kind of a response, and that's all the commotion happening in his life, and that's when he sings this song, mayakama, kalakama, anadile kulakama. Right? He's almost on the verge of suicide. He doesn't see a point in living, because everybody is settled. He sacrificed everything. He's able to settle his brother, his sister, and all that. But his life, he doesn't find a point or purpose. So that's when he starts singing this mayakama. Then finally he says, எதையும் தாங்கும் இதயம் இருந்தா இறுதி வரையில் அமைதி நிலைக்கும். That's the main point. If you have enough courage to face anything in life, you can be happy till the last moment. But how much one person can tolerate? That's the entire crux of the movie, sumaithaangi. How much burden you can tolerate? In fact, this sumaithaangi is a very unique thing in psychiatry or psychology. This is like in those days when people used to carry a lot of burden and go on the road. There used to be the sumaithaangi. That's a stone. It's basically a stone which is like a table kind of a thing on the roads, where you can just unburden yourself. You keep all your loads there, so it will bear the load. You can sit under the tree and sleep for a time, rest for a while that stone is carrying your loads. So you feel relaxed a lot, and then again, once you get up, then you carry the load again. That's the sumaithaangi. That's the meaning of the sumaithaangi. And that's used in suicide prevention. If you look at suicide prevention, they often say most of the helplines, they use the sumaithaangi principle, because people have a lot of burden inside them, and once they are able to, at the moment of verge of suicide, if they are able to talk about it to somebody, express their grief, talk something about it, and then they feel the suicidal idea vanishes, or it's only a temporary thing usually in the suicidal idea. After some time it goes up and they regain senses. That's the idea of helplines and providing helplines. So people call an anonymous number and they talk to an anonymous person. That person counsels him and then he gets relief from the burden. So that's why எதையும் தாங்கும் இதயம் இருந்தால் இறுதி வரை அமைதி நிலைக்கும். That's very important. So mayakama kalakama, manadile குழப்பமா வாழ்க்கையில் நடுக்கமா. Let's go to the next stanza, right? ஏழை மனதை மாளிகையாக்கி இரவும் பகலும் காவியம் பாடி, ஏழை மனதை மாளிகையாக்கி இரவும் பகலும் காவியம் பாடி, நாளை பொழுதை இறைவனுக்கு அளித்து நடக்கும் வாழ்வில் அமைதியை தேடு, நடக்கும் வாழ்வில் அமைதியை தேடு, உனக்கும் கீழே உள்ளவர் கோடி நினைத்து பார்த்து நிம்மதி நாடு. So that's the crux of the song. No, உனக்கும் கீழே உள்ளவர் கோடி நினைத்து பார்த்து நிம்மதி நாடு. ஏழை மனதை மாளிகையாக்கி. So a person is poor actually, but his mind can be rich. He can be poor really, but you can imagine a lot of rich things. You can be rich at heart. You can be rich at heart. In your inside you can feel good about yourself. Iravam pagalam kaviyam paadi. There is a lot of things which are free in life. Kaviyam is free. Like kaviyam is like, say, you can go and listen to Ramayana or Mahabharata somewhere free. Like that, a lot of things are free. Maybe you could go to Marina Beach is free. The park is free. Air is free. The moon is free. There are a lot of things which do not. You don't need any money to be happy in life. So, நாளை பொழுது இறைவனை கழித்து. We are always worrying what I'm going to do today. How am I going to meet the bills? How am I going to write the exam? How am I going to give the talk? How am I going to do the stand-up comedy? Guys, relax. நாளை பொழுது இறைவனை கழித்து. Just don't forget about tomorrow. நடக்கும் வாழ்வில் அமைதியை தேடு. And just find peace in today's life. That's the moral of the story, guys. உனக்கும் கீழே உள்ளவர் கோடி நினைத்து பார்த்து நிம்மதி நாடு. So there are a lot of people who are even worse than you. For example, say you don't have a job, but still you have a lot of, you have 2 hands and 2 legs, and you have a shirt, pant, everything, man. There are a lot of guys who don't have a dress, who don't have 2 legs, who don't have hands, who don't have eyes. There are people who are always lower. Whatever, however low you are, there are still some other people. There are a set of people who are lower than you, and that's how you should pacify you in terms of grief and in bad times. And when you're of course you can also do the reverse. You can compare yourself with somebody who's better and try to become like him. You can take it as a motivation. Of course, that's also possible. You have to do both. There are times when you shouldn't be very relaxed, and you should try to motivate. Always your parents say, அவன் பாரு நல்லா படிக்கிறாங்க, நீ ஏன் படிக்க மாட்டேற, அந்த மாதிரி. அவன் எவ்வளவு பணக்காரனா இருக்கான், நீ ஏன் பணக்காரனா இருக்க மாட்டேற. So there was this father, who says, at your age, Einstein had done so many things, and he has achieved so many things. Then the son says, at your age, Churchill became Prime Minister of a country, and what are you doing? So like that, there's no point in just comparing. But to an extent, you can use it for motivation. Okay. So, உனக்கும் கீழே உள்ளவர் கோடி நினைத்து பார்த்து நிம்மதி நாடு. So apparently this song has motivated a lot of people, including even Wally. Wally was on the dearth of quitting cine field and going back to his native place and for a job, quitting the cine lyrics writing thing and all that. But apparently he heard this song and he again got motivated to pursue his career in as a lyricist, and in Bali became a great lyricist. Because so many people have been motivated, inspired. It has prevented suicide. Itself is a lot of gives a lot of psychotherapy. I think I covered all the lyrics. I'm just checking. I think I have left the first Saranam. So I'm doing it in the reverse. So I think I've completed the second Saranam first. Now we will go to the first Saranam. The first Saranam. வாழ்க்கை என்றால் ஆயிரம் இருக்கும், வாசல் தோறும் வேதனை இருக்கும். வாழ்க்கை என்றால் ஆயிரம் இருக்கும், வாசல் தோறும் வேதனை இருக்கும். வந்த துன்பம் எதுவென்றாலும் வாடி நின்றால் ஓடுவதில்லை, வாடி நின்றால் ஓடுவதில்லை. So, வாழ்க்கை என்றால் ஆயிரம் இருக்கும். There will be always 1,000 things in life. There are going to be problems. If as long as you're alive, there will be issues. There are few people who do not have any problems in life. They are all under the ground. They are all buried. They are all dead. And those are the only people in this world who do not have any problems. As long as you're alive, you're going to have a problem, be it personal, be it financial, be it political, be it tax or whatever issue, I don't know. Rent, I don't know. There is a problem always. That's a problem. And there is a solution also. Possibly there is a solution. And vasal thorum vedana irukkum. Every door there is a pain also. A lot of pain in this life. Vasal thorum vedana irukkum. Everywhere there is pain, and you have to kind of tolerate this pain. Only if you tolerate this pain, you can survive it and then later on go to a better stage in your life. So this tolerating this pain tolerance or this frustration tolerance is one thing this song is telling you. வாழ்க்கை என்றால் ஆயிரம் இருக்கும், வாசல் தோறும் வேதனை இருக்கும். Everywhere there's going to be pain. வந்த துன்பம் எதுவென்றாலும் வாடி நின்றால் ஓடுவது. Just because you are sad, the problem is not going to get solved. You சும்மா அப்படி சேடாக ஃபேஸ் வச்சுட்டு அப்படியே உட்காந்துருந்தா, is this problem going to get solved? No. You have to take some action, do something about it, or just forget it and do something else. At least be happy. Just because you are sad, this problem is not going to get solved. Okay. So this. On the contrary, because you are sad and because you are dull and you are not energetic, you might aggravate the problem. The problem you are going to mismanage the whole problem. You will not be able to do justice to that particular issue, right? So, எதையும் தாங்கும் இதயம் இருந்தா இறுதி வரையில். I think I covered that. Already we talked about how till the last moment, you have to have. I think I covered all the major lines in the particular song. And if you look at the entire song, story, coming back to the story, Sumaithaangi, what happens is that finally what happens? This guy, he quits his job and he quits his life and he is absconded. People are all searching for him. This ex-lover, she also feels for him and she wants to get married to this guy. And even the father-in-law thinks, okay, he is suffering so much and we have to do something about it. Everybody goes in search of where is this guy gone, and finally they get a hint that he's in Kodaikanal somewhere, and they go to Kodaikanal, and finally they say that he has already become a father. He has converted to Christian, and he has become a father, and he has gone in search of. He has become a kind of a monk, kind of a lifestyle, and it's beyond retrieval, and they leave it at that. They leave him to be peaceful at a monk like that father, Christian father life, and that's how the movie ends. It's a bit of a tragic. Depends on how you look at it, but of course it's a tragic end. We all want the hero and heroine to be together at the end, and it doesn't happen in this particular movie. So that way it's a bit tragic, but it gives you a lot of point to think. And if you look at the movie, I recommend all of you to go and watch the Sumaithaangi movie. There's another beautiful song in the movie. It's called Manithan Enbavan Devamagala Vari Vari Vadangum Bodhu Vallalagala Manam Manam Adu Kovilagala Manithan Enbavan Devamagala Devama. Even a man can become a god. It's how he is able to, do some sacrifice